Taha, Kitten, and I are leading the wrapping up session. And so we're gonna start it off with an icebreaker. We'll probably do it popcorn style. So we'll popcorn into somebody, or I'll go first and I'll popcorn into somebody else. So we'll go over our name, pronouns, thoughts on the conference, and one thing you're looking forward to after the conference. So I'm Joey. I use he, him pronouns. I thought the conference was great. Even though it was online, I would have preferred for it to be in person, but I think that we did a great job. Even though for the online circumstances. And after the conference, I'm gonna go take a nap, I think. And I'll popcorn it to Rakeel.
Hey, I'm Rakil, he, him pronouns. Enjoyed the conference, albeit being online. I think it was amazing for what it was. And then one thing I'm looking forward to after the conference is uh also probably taking a nap. Pretty tired, so I will popcorn it to Nikhil.
I'm Nikhil. I use he, him pronouns. I thought the conference was great, even though it was virtual. I think we had a lot of interesting presentations. One thing I'm looking forward to after is finishing up work. And I will popcorn it to Angelina.
Um, Hi, I am Angelina. I use she, her pronouns. I thought this conference, all the presentations were very educational and fun to be in, and I think I learned a lot from all of them, and I hope that I can be a part of them next year. And one thing I'm looking forward to after the conference is taking a shower. Um, and I'm gonna popcorn it to Sahana.
Hi, I'm Sahana. I use she, her pronouns. Um, this was a really interesting conference. This is actually my first year on the council, so I was really thrilled to be part of it, and I had a great time. I learned a lot. And after the conference, I'm looking forward to taking a walk and getting some air. I'll popcorn to Peyton.
Hi everyone, I'm Katen. I use he, him pronouns. I think the conference went really well for the first year, like being online. All of the workshops were really well developed. And one thing I'm looking for after the conference is probably going to play like pickleball. And I'll pass it on to Annabelle.
Hi, my name is Annabelle. I have she, her pronouns, and I thought this conference went absolutely amazing. I thought all of our presenters came really well prepared, and I'm so happy I was able to meet all of you virtually. And um, after the conference, I look forward to going to the gym and moving around. I will popcorn it to um, Muntaha.
Hi everyone. My name's Mutaha. I use she, her pronouns. I thought the conference was really fun, but I do wish that it was in person. So we could have moved around a little bit more, but I think it was really fun regardless. I learned a lot. One thing I'm looking forward to after is definitely moving around a bit more. I really want to go on a walk. Um, and I'll popcorn to Corey.
Hi guys, I'm Kari. I use she, her. I thought the conference was awesome, albeit virtual, obviously. Again, I was super excited for it to be in person, but things happen, and I'm just glad that we had to have it, or we got to have it regardless. And I'm also looking forward to going outside because I miss the outdoors. And I'll popcorn to Jisoo.
My name's Jisoo. I use any pronouns. I really liked the conference. I thought it was really cool learning about the work that other youth are doing all around the country. And I loved all the presentations. After the conference, I might go on a run with my dad, so that'd be fun. I will popcorn it to Rowan.
Hi, I'm Rowan. My pronouns are they, them. And this is my first year doing this conference, so I enjoyed it a lot. I thought I think I expanded my expertise a lot because I was not super knowledgeable on health policy before. So I feel like I've gained a lot of knowledge in the last couple of days. And one thing I'm looking forward to after the conference is getting a snack. And I think there's only one more person, so I will pass it to Madeline or Madeline. I'm sorry if you are able to unmute.
Hi, my name's Madeline. I use she, her pronouns, and I really like the conference and just getting to hear everyone's thoughts, and I'm looking forward to just relaxing after the conference.
Did everyone go? Oh, okay. Somebody went in the Trinity went in the chat. Like got rescheduled and stuff like that. Okay, we'll move on to the next section. So we're gonna be going over some reflection questions. And I think we're gonna break out into pairs, and then as a pair, you guys will work in a Jamboard and put your responses to these reflection questions in the Jamboard, and then we'll probably have a couple of people share out. And so I think Kaiten or Muntaha will copy and paste these questions in, and then I'll send a link to where they can be posted, and then you guys can edit them that way. And then Harper will make the breakout rooms if that works. So I'm gonna stop sharing so I can send the link in.
Alrighty, folks, it looks like Muntaha put the questions in the chat, so make sure you just take note of those, either copy them somewhere or you have them somewhere available. And then I'm going to go ahead and create the breakout rooms once the Jamboard link is in the chat. Perfect. All right, again, make sure you grab the link. And then I'm going to create automatic breakout rooms, so it should just take you somewhere. If you have any questions or issues getting into your breakout rooms, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I think we're good to go. Okay. And there you go.
Hey Harper, I think I'm the only one in my breakout room.
So it's you and Kari are in the same room, but oh, there you go. Now you can go in. I think she just went in.
Got it.
My screen. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see this. Does anybody want to share what their group discussed about?
I can start. So for me, it was me and Trinity. And so we talked about how it was really interesting learning a lot more about the policy initiatives, and budgeting. So yeah, we really enjoyed more so like the hands-on things, like doing the simulation and workshop, because we said that it fostered more discussion for us, and it also gave us a chance to like think more creatively. I know I'm not answering the questions in order, but yeah, I was like, I may as well talk about that since I was just talking about that number one. And then for number two, how to bring back what we learned to our community. We learned a lot about like a variety of different topics, and we thought like, oh, like since we learned about all of these, it might be good to have like incorporating it into discussions and whatnot, and to educate our friends and family at home. And I already answered the favorite moment. And then one thing to change, well, there is this is online, so there's only so much we can do about sitting down all day, because we know how like hectic it can get with scheduling and stuff. So regardless of that, we were just saying that if doable, it would be nice to have more break time between sessions, because at times it was like, oh, there's only like 10 or 15 minutes between, so like you could only like get up to get a glass of water or anything. And like for me personally, it took me back to doing my like COVID schooling and stuff during high school, which I don't know, I feel like it would be nice to move around a little bit more, but I do understand like there's only so much we could do. And then Harper, I see your message in the chat. Yeah, that would be nice to possibly split over 3 days, so we're not like clumping a bunch of Zooms in one day. But the topics were all really great though. So it's not really about that. And then some topics to explore deeper. This was briefly mentioned in one of the presentations, I forgot which one, but privacy regarding healthcare would be really nice to talk about, because I feel like especially a lot of youth might not know what rights they might have as a patient. So that might be more interesting to learn about. And then how to get more involved in health policy and related work, like how to get your feet on the ground for that would also be really nice.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for sharing. We can probably take one more person to share, one more group to share if anybody else wants to.
I can share for us if no one else wants to share, but did anyone want to jump
Perfect.
out? Great. Okay, so addressing the first question, what's one thing we learned that surprised or inspired us? Joey and I really appreciated seeing all the kinds of initiatives that youth are doing to advocate for their own health and education all around the country. And we especially thought that Bridges to Medicine was super interesting. And we loved how they're working to create a more equitable environment in terms of health education. What will we take back to our school or community? So one thing that I especially liked was the Patch in Colorado, their consultations and the work that they do with professionals in the area to talk more about how they can make services better for youth. Both of us would love to go back to our own communities and speak to professionals and those who are organizing this kinds of infrastructure to make it more accessible and more welcoming. And then favorite moment or session of the conference. Joey and I both liked winning Chipotle cards. That was really great. And then Trinity in her presentation mentioned open door policies in counseling offices, and we both agreed that this is a really great idea and we'd love to see more of this in schools. And we both thought that this is like a way to build connections with people who are receiving care and like make it less sterilized. And what's one thing we would change? Similar to Mintaha, definitely not making it virtual. Having the social aspect of a conference is so important, and it's just uniquely achievable in person in ways that Zoom just doesn't make it possible. And that was kind of sad, but it was really great to have this conference either way, and it's still awesome that we were able to do it. And then a topic that I personally wanted to explore next year, hopefully, was mandatory reporting, specifically in relation to like harm reduction and youth. I think this is a conversation that we really need to have, and especially when we're talking about making healthcare more equitable and safe for marginalized communities. And yeah, I'd love to have a dialogue about that.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing. So I think we're going to move on to the next section just for the sake of time.
Okay, so our next activity here is the blog post. And I know it says ending activity, but this isn't actually the very end, because after this we're presenting the poster winner. But the instructions for the blog post are pretty much on the slide. Basically what you'll be doing is you'll be sharing a doc, if that works for you, in your groups, and together you'll all be writing a reflection blog post. And in that post, you'll be talking about like the experiences that you had during the conference and everything that you learned. And when they're completed, they'll be published on the Youth Health Hub. So you don't necessarily have to format them a certain way, so don't necessarily be worried about that. It's more so getting all the content down and getting everything that you want to say out. And then Harper, since they'll be published on the Youth Health Hub, did you want everyone to add you in their docs as well, so you can have access to them?
Yeah, that would be great. I'm happy to put my email in the chat. I think this is probably the easiest way to do it. If not, you can also just email a copy of it to me following your breakout sessions, truly whatever's easier, or you can share it with me, and I should be able to access it.
Also,
Okay.
if you want some ideas, there are quite a few blog posts up on the Youth Health Hub already by the Youth Advisory Council, and so you could definitely take a look at those just to like see like, oh, what are they writing about? How are they writing it? Stuff like that.
Yeah, but definitely don't feel pressured to like worry about formatting. Just talk about your experiences and all of that. So it doesn't have to be overly formal, just it's all about you. And then we can get divided into our breakout groups.
Yeah, absolutely. And the biggest thing that we like from what we call a blog post is like making sure it's authentic to you. So this is not a formal 5-paragraph essay. It should just sound like you, and you're more than welcome to put in maybe like some of the things that you created or some of the ideas that you have for bringing it home. So I'm going to open up the rooms. I have 3 rooms and they have about 4 people each. And you should have about 20 minutes. But feel free to come back into the main session if you finish early. Thank you all.
Okay, can you guys see the slideshow? Okay, perfect. So now we're gonna announce our poster winner, Kitten.
Yeah, could you go to the next slide? So we want to congratulate Trinity for winning the Poster of Excellence Award. Her project on youth access to healthcare resources and education in public school communities was unanimously nominated to win as a poster. So Trinity, I know you're actively like traveling right now, but if you could have a second to like type in the chat, we'd love to hear like the motivation behind your project and kind of why you started it. Because honestly, I think your story is like really inspiring.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry if there's a lot of background noise. I'm like literally stuck in the airport still. I don't really know what happened, but we were supposed to go Boston, then our flight literally just went straight back to Seattle, 40 minutes into the flight, and then we got moved to 7 a.m. flight, and then now we're stuck in Cincinnati instead of Washington, D.C. So yeah. But anyways, thank you to everyone who voted for my poster. I had a lot of fun during this conference. I learned so much, and it was an honor and absolute amazing experience being able to present my poster. Sorry I am not on camera today, but yeah. I did this poster because for the people who are able to come to my poster session, I mentioned this briefly, but in 2020, I was diagnosed with adult idiopathic scoliosis, AIS. If you don't know what that is, it's basically like a spinal deformity where your back like curves in like a lateral way instead of like the way it's supposed to. In the future, if it gets too extreme, you can get into the degree of it like having to get surgery and stuff. And I was at the point of needing to get surgery, the very first appointment that I ever had. And it was really shocking to me because I learned that it was a huge deal and that it was a very common spinal deformity, but that I had never heard of it until I was at the point of getting surgery. And I realized that this could become a big issue for other youth in our communities. If they could also be going through other conditions that are super harmful or like just or super dangerous in general, but they just didn't know about it, so they didn't take any measures to prevent it or consider it or be like tested for it ahead of time. And so I did this project to kind of reach out to what resources there can be in our community, what resources are currently being provided, how helpful those resources are, and knowing that schools are where a lot of youth get their information, get their education, seeing how accessible resources are in the school communities, what steps we can take to increase student input, and what changes can be made to the curriculum and what students want to learn about their health around other common youth related health conditions. So yeah, that is how I kind of got into my research. And yeah, thank you everyone.
It's great to hear how you turn like a personal story into a viable research project and were able to present your poster at this conference. Honestly, it's really inspiring. But yeah, we really appreciate everyone for coming to this conference. All the workshops were really amazing. It was a great like 2-day experience, almost 3 days. And I know everyone's tired, so make sure you like take some rest after this conference and recharge. And hopefully we see you back next year.
Sweet. Thank you so much, everybody. It's been such a treat to spend the last few days with you, as Kaiten said. Yeah, get out of here, go for a walk, get off your computer, and enjoy the rest of your summer, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.